What's going on, guys? TTL here. Going to be going over my top picks for every single MLB game going on today, July 11th, 2025. It's currently 7 a.m., so we have around 12 hours before the games get started. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up button and hit that subscribe button if you're interested in more content like this. I post 2 videos a day right now. I post one going over every single MLB game and my top picks for each, and then I post one going over my top 5 or 6 props for that day for MLB. When NBA is going on, I'll do NBA. When NFL is going on, I'll do NFL. But right now, we just have that MLB to look forward to every day. I do want to mention before we get started as well, all of these picks are coming from predictiveprofits.ai. It's the easiest tool on the market right now. It tells you an exact projected hit rate for every single bet that it recommends you take. And it also gives you a prop predictor for props if you're interested in those. Now let's get into the actual meat and potatoes of the video. Thank you guys so much for all the support, and let's get into it. So, a recap of yesterday, the top 3 recap. We had the Miami Marlins money line. They got dominated, and we only had them at like a 50.5% projected hit rate. It was the lowest projected hit rate of the top 3, but still sucks to have that lose. Next up, we had the Athletics versus Braves game, under 10 game total. That one cashed for us. And then we had the New York Yankees plus 1.5 spread. And now they made us sweat a little bit. I was a little surprised. They did make us sweat, but they ended up cashing in the end, and we loved to see that as well. Now, starting off today, let me go ahead and get my probable pitchers up on the second monitor really quick. Starting us off today, we have the Cubs versus the Yankees. I'm skipping over the first Guardians versus White Sox game. We had the Guardians money line yesterday. It was Logan Allen versus Jonathan Cannon, and the game got postponed. So now the first game is Logan Allen versus Shane Smith, and it starts at 3 p.m. We're skipping over that game and just going with the other game that was supposed to be on this date originally. We're not going over the doubleheader game. But Cubs versus Yankees. Our pick for this our pick for this game is the Chicago Cubs money line at plus 148. Now, I do want to mention this has a 48.8% projected hit rate from Predictive Profits. Now, when we say this, the reason we're taking this, even though it has an under 50% projected hit rate, is because the odds of the bet at plus 148, this is a great pick that you can lock in today. Even with a 48.8% projected hit rate, this will be very profitable long term. This is something I would put 0.5 units, maybe 1 unit on, but I wouldn't do 2 or 3 units on this one. Now today we do have Chris Flexen versus Carlos Rodon. Chris Flexen is 5-0 this season for the Cubs, which is immaculate. A .83 ERA, and he's looking really good. So he's a right-handed pitcher. He's versus Carlos Rodon, who is a left-handed pitcher. He's 9-6 this season with a 3.3 ERA. And I personally, call me biased. Now, Predictive Profits agrees with me on this one, but call me biased all you want. I'm not a Rodon fan. I personally like taking his over walks allowed, his over hits allowed, things like that. I personally didn't take one today yet, but typically when he's pitching, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking at. The Cubs this season have been looking really good. They're 55-38, and I'm loving this Cubs money line at plus 148 odds. Next up, we have the Miami Marlins versus the Orioles. Now, my pick for this game is no bet. Now, this is just a really close game. We have Edward Cabrera versus Dean Kramer. Both of these pitchers are really good. Both of these teams are exactly the same win rate this season. They're 42 wins with 50 losses. Both teams. Edward Cabrera is 3-3 this season with a 3.3 ERA. Dean Kramer is 7-7 with a 4.5 ERA. Predictive Profits didn't see anything that was too positive EV for me to recommend on this game. It may have recommended like one bet at 0.5 units, and it was like 0.2% positive EV. Like it was just not very positive EV. So personally, I'm not going to play anything for this game, and I don't recommend. It'll be a fun one to watch, maybe, but both of these pitchers are pretty good. and I don't expect much to happen in this game. Next up, we have the Rockies versus the Reds. Now, for this one, we have the Colorado Rockies money line at plus 185 odds. And now, I want to tell you right now, this is the riskiest bet of the day. Play .5 units on this maximum because it has like a 40% projected hit rate. The Rockies are 21-72 this season. They do not look good at all. The Reds are 48-46. They've been looking pretty decent. I do not recommend putting a lot of money on this, but it was worth mentioning. Predictive Profits has it for 1 unit today. You can do 1 unit if you want. I personally am going to do 0.5, but it has a 40.15% projected hit rate. So, still long term, if you're getting a 2.85x at a 40% hit rate, that's beautiful. But it's just so risky, especially with how the Rockies have been looking this season. I'm not loving this one. The Rockies have Marquez and the Reds have Chase Burns today. And no, don't get me wrong, Chase Burns is not a good pitcher. Marquez is 3-10 this season with an over 5.8 ERA, but Chase Burns is 0-1 with an 8.1 ERA. So I mean, do with that information what you will. I think the Rockies are are worth taking, but .5 units or 1 unit max. Do not play a lot of money on this one. A 40.15% projected hit rate means you're only going to hit 4 out of 10 times. So 2 out of 5. So it's not that big of a hit rate, but for the odds that we are given, it's worth throwing a little dart at it, you know. Next up, we have the Mariners versus the Tigers. Now the Mariners, they have both of these teams have a really good pitcher going on today, but they also have really good batters this season. So our play for this is actually going to be the over 7.0 game total, and this is plus money at plus 105. Now, you might be a little bit scared off of this based on the pitchers that each team has today, but I'm loving this just because the lineups for the Tigers typically are good versus Luis Castillo, and the batting lineup versus for the Mariners versus the Tigers versus Skewball typically line up well against him as well. Now this has a 60.99% projected hit rate over on Predictive Profits. And I just said this, but Luis Castillo is pitching for the Mariners versus Tarek Skewball for the Detroit Tigers. Castillo's 5-5 this season, allowing 3.31 ERA. Tarek Skewball's 10-2, allowing 2.02 ERA. Now, I think this could be a close game. I personally have the Mariners winning this overall, but I think the game total should get over 7 pretty easily. I would really like to see one of these teams get 3 or 4 runs pretty early just to kind of put pressure on the other team and have them need to make that comeback. Because if we see 3-3, we know the worst case scenario is we push because it'll go to extra innings until somebody gets 4 runs and makes it 7. And then the other team can score, et cetera, et cetera. So hopefully we can just see 3 or 3 and just make sure we at minimum push. But hopefully cash this prop. Next up, we have the Rays versus the Red Sox. Now, this should be an interesting one. I think the Rays are going to win this, and I'm actually taking the under 9.0 game total at minus 110. The Rays are 50-44 this season. The Red Sox are 50-45. Both very similar hit rates. It is at Fenway Park for the Red Sox, and the Predictive Profits has the under 9 game total at a 52.85% projected hit rate. Now, this is something, again, probably 0.5 units. I wouldn't even put 1 unit on this. I think even Predictive Profits has this at a 0.5 unit play. It's barely positive EV, but it's worth taking for an almost 53% hit rate at minus 110. We have Drew Rasmussen versus Hunter Dobbins on the mound. Drew is 7-5 this season with a 2.82 ERA. Hunter Dobbins is 4-1, but he has a 4.1 ERA. Both of these pitchers are right-handed pitchers, and I think that this could be a pretty close game, and I don't think there's going to be too many runs scored in this game. I think we had the projection at like 6. So hopefully we should stay under that 9 game total. and cash this out for us today. But this is a .5 unit play, nothing more than that. Next up, we have the Guardians versus the White Sox. Now, this is the game that was supposed to originally happen on July 11th. So, this is today's game, not the doubleheader game. This is the game starting at 8 p.m. Both of these games should be at White Sox. You would assume, it's a doubleheader. They're not going to go to one stadium than the other. They're at Rate Field. So, the Guardians are 43-48 this season. White Sox are 31-62. And our pick for this is the Cleveland Guardians money line, same as yesterday. Now, yesterday's was -134. This one's -141. I still think this is worth taking. And when we take a look at predictive profits, it has a 61.74% projected hit rate, which makes me love this even more. Now, we do have Gavin Williams versus Jonathan Cannon on the mounds because the Guardians used Logan Allen in their first game of the doubleheader today. So we have Gavin Williams, who is 5-4 this season with a 3.6 ERA, versus Jonathan Cannon, who is 3-7 with a 4.5 ERA. The batters for the Guardians are much better than the batters for the Sox as well. So this is pretty self-explanatory as a pick. Next up, we have the Mets versus the Royals. Now, this is another game. Get my second monitor set up correctly. I apologize. This is another game that I'm loving today. The Mets are 53-41. The Royals are 46-48. And we actually are playing at the Royals home park today. Our pick for this one, under 9.0 game total. Now, both of these pitchers are pretty good pitchers, especially the Mets pitcher. And I really, really like this play today. This is probably one of my top, it's definitely one of the top three, but it's probably my favorite play of the day just because it's plus 100 odds. And we actually have a 63.56% projected hit rate from predictive profits. We have Kodai Senga for the Mets versus Michael Waka for the Royals. Kodai Senga is a great pitcher. He's 7-3 this season with a 1.4 ERA. Michael's 4-9 with a 3.8 ERA. I'm loving both of these teams today. I don't think there's going to be many runs, and I could see this just having 5 or 6 runs personally. So hopefully this cashes with ease. I don't know why this is plus 100 right now, but I do think it's going to move in our direction. And I think that the closing line value will probably be like -120. So I want to go ahead and get this in as early as possible. Next up, we have the Pirates versus the Twins. Now, this is an interesting one. The Pirates are 38-56 this season. The Twins are 45-48. This is at Target Field, so Twins home field. And both of these teams have pretty good pitchers on the mound, but I think that the market overreacted to the pitchers that are on the mound. And I think that this could be a great target for the over game total. So we're going to take the over 6.5 game total at -120 odds. And I'm really liking this, even with, both teams have great pitchers on the mound today. But the Pirates have a decent batting lineup. The Twins have a very good batting lineup. And I think that we should get the over 6.5 pretty easily in this game. Now, this has a 65.18% projected hit rate at -120 odds, which is just lovely. I could see you putting 2 units on this one if you want to. But we do have Paul Skeens versus Joe Ryan on the mound. Now, Paul Skeens, I hate that he's on the Pirates because poor Guy. Guy is a great pitcher, but he's stuck on the Pirates. But he's 4-7 this season with a 1.9 ERA, while Joe Ryan is actually 8-4 this season with a 2.7 ERA. And I have the Twins winning this game. I have the over 6.5 game total as my favorite bet on this game, and I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. Next up, we have the Rangers versus the Astros. Now, this is another interesting one. 46-48 for the Rangers, 55-38 for the Astros, and it is at Astros home park, Dakin Park. Now, this one we're going to go ahead and take no bet. There was no bets that were good enough EV. Now, I will say predictive profits, I think had 2 actually for this, but looking at the pitchers, looking at the hit rates of everything, and even the projected hit rates of everything, it just didn't seem worth to take a bet on this one. And I'm personally not running anything, so I don't want to give you guys anything that I'm personally not locking in myself, because I think that's very fraudulent, just giving out random plays that you don't even take yourself. Now, I have no bet on this. We have Jack Leiter versus Lance McCullers Jr. Jack's 4-6 this season with a 4.3 ERA. Lance is 2-3 with a 5.8 ERA. Pretty much the only thing I'd be comfortable taking would be the over on the game total. But even then, I didn't lock in a bet for this game. So I'm not going to put one as officially in this video. Next up, we have the Nationals versus the Brewers. 38-55 for the Nationals, 53-40 for the Brewers. This is at American Family Field for the Brewers. And our bet for this game is going to be the Nationals money line at plus 158. Now, similar to the Rockies, this is a very risky bet. I would not put anything over 0.5 units on this one. It's a 44.4% projected hit rate. We have Mitchell Parker versus Quinn Priester on the mound. Mitchell Parker's 5-9 this season with a 4.7 ERA. Quinn Priester's 6-2 with a 3.5 ERA. Now, I'm pretty torn up about this one because even though Mitchell Parker has a higher ERA than Quinn Priester, and Quinn Priester has a decent win rate this season as well, I'm pretty stuck because the Nationals batters are terrible, but I do not like Quinn Priester. But then for the Brewers, they have a ton of great batters in their lineup, but they're versus Mitchell Parker, who I personally like more than Quinn Priester. So this is an interesting one for sure. At plus 158, I'm willing to take the stab on the Nationals money line, especially with predictive profits having them at almost 45% projected hit rate. This is a positive EV play that I'm willing to take. Again, though, I would not do more than 0.5 units as it is pretty risky. Next up, we have my Braves, boys. My Braves. We have the Braves versus the Cardinals. And we actually have pretty decent pitchers on both ends. 40-52 for the Braves, 50-44 for the Cardinals. Our bet on this is going to be no bet just because I do think the Braves are going to win. I think it's going to be decent scoring, but not super high. I think the predictive profits, sorry about that noise by the way, but I'm pretty sure predictive profits have the under game total for this bet actually. But I do think it's going to be low scoring, but I personally didn't take anything just because it's a little bit iffy for me. We have Grant Holmes on the mound for the Braves versus Matthew Liberatore for the Cardinals. Grant Holmes is 4-8 with a 3.4 ERA. Matthew 6-6 with a 3.7. It is at Cardinals Stadium, at Busch Stadium, Cardinals home stadium. But I personally, again, just did not lock anything in for this one. And I don't want to feel like I'm forced to give a bet for every single game when there's 15 games going on in a day, If I'm giving out 12 picks, 13 picks in a video, I think it's okay for 2, 3 of the games to have no bet and just say, hey, I'm not sure about this one. I don't want to lead you guys astray, and I don't want to be, again, fraudulent and give you guys something that I'm not personally playing myself. The next game we have to look at is the Diamondbacks versus the Angels. We have 4 more games total, 3 more after this one. This is at Angel Stadium again, and actually, we are going to take the Angels plus 1.5 spread. Now, it's minus 150 odds. They've been looking pretty decent lately. The Diamondbacks are 46-48 this season. The Angels are 45-48. The Diamondbacks have Ryan Nelson on the mound versus Tyler Anderson. This is a 59.7% projected hit rate according to predictive profits at minus 150 odds. It's worth taking. I would not do more than 1 unit max, but 1 unit or maybe 0.5 units if you're feeling a little bit iffy on it. With Ryan Nelson versus Tyler Anderson, though, I'm really liking this. Tyler Anderson's a pretty good pitcher. So is Ryan Nelson, though, honestly. Nelson's 5-2 with a 3.4 ERA. Tyler Anderson's 2-6 with a 4 ERA. Tyler Anderson is also a left-handed pitcher too, though, and we're getting the plus 1.5. So it's not like we need him to win. We just need him to lose by 1 or win the game. So I'm loving the Angels plus 1.5 spread today. I personally put 1 unit on this. Next up, we have the Phillies versus the Padres. Another very interesting one. This is at Petco Park for the Padres. 54-39 win rate for the Phillies. 50 and 43 for the Padres. And we're going to take the over 8.0 game total in this game as our favorite bet of the day. It's minus 110. It has a 55.55% projected hit rate. And we have Ranger Suarez and Ryan Berger on the mounds for each team. Ranger Suarez is 7-2 this season with a 1.99 ERA, but he is up against the Padres batters. Both of these teams have really good batting lineups, and I could see this being a very high scoring game. Ryan Bergert's 1-0 this season with a 2.67 ERA, and both of these teams' relief pitchers are kind of mid. So I'm really looking forward to this. I could see this having double-digit game total pretty easily. Next up, we have the Blue Jays versus the Athletics. The Blue Jays are 54 and 39 this season. The Athletics are 39 and 56. And this is at Sutter Health Park for the Athletics. Our pick for this is the under 10.5 game total. It's plus 100. Now, I am loving this. It's plus 100 odds. It has a 63.74% projected hit rate from Predictive Profits. There's nothing about this game that you shouldn't love. Now, I will say the pitchers, I hate to say this, man. We have Max Scherzer on the mound for the Blue Jays. And Max Scherzer is one of my favorite pitchers of all time, man. I love Max Scherzer. But this season, he's not going too high. He's not going too high. But we have Max Scherzer versus Luis Severino. Luis Severino's 2-1 this season. He has a 5.3 ERA. Max Scherzer 0-0 with a 4.7 ERA. He's allowing a lot of runs this season, but I think this is the game. It's versus the Athletics, who do not have a great lineup for their batters. I think this could be the game where Scherzer starts pitching like old Scherzer. And I'm really hoping we can just see him get a bunch of strikeouts, see him not give up any runs. I think the under 10.5 game total being at plus 100 odds is absolutely criminal for this game. And I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in. And our last game of the day starts at 10:15 p.m. at Oracle Park, Giants home field. We're going to have 56 and 38 win rate for the Dodgers, a 51 and 43 win rate for the Giants. And our pick for this, the over 7.5 game total. It's minus 110 odds. It has a 63.97% projected hit rate based on Predictive Profits projected hit rates. We have Dustin May versus Logan Webb, who are both decent pitchers, but they allow a ton of runs. Dustin May's 5-5 this season with a 4.5 ERA. Logan Webb is 8-6 with a 2.62 ERA, but he's against the Dodgers, man. The Dodgers have a great batting lineup, and honestly, the Giants' batting lineup isn't half bad itself. The 7.5, I'm definitely going to take the over on. And then our top 3 bets for today. These are the top 3 picks from this video. Number 1, we have the Athletics Toronto under 10.5 game total at plus 100 odds and a 63.7% projected hit rate. Number 2, we have the Tigers versus Mariners over 7.0 game total at plus 105 odds. This is a 60.99% projected hit rate. And finally, to end off the top 3, we have the game we just went over, the Giants versus Dodgers over 7.5 game total, minus 110 odds at 63.97% projected hit rate. Again, guys, these all came from predictiveprofits.ai. Use code TTL50. Get half off on your first month. It's super easy to use, guys. It literally tells you exactly what to bet on, tells you the EV percentage. If you click on the bet that it tells you to bet on, it'll show you all the hit rates for that game, everything you need to know about that game. So, highly recommend it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Leave a comment down below if you're liking these types of videos. And as always, guys, I'll see you guys in the free Discord or in my VIP if you guys are interested in getting all of my picks every single day. Thanks for watching.